A question from her son and a family visit to Italy led best-selling author Jennifer Robson to her brand new novel. She joins us with more on the story behind Our Darkest Night. And good morning on this
Good morning.
fairly cloudy morning. But I have to say, after I read your best-selling book, The Gown, I was so excited for this one. So thrilled when your publicist offered you as an interview. That was great. This book is a lot darker, though, than The Gown.
It is. It is. And, I originally planned to write something quite different. It was actually going to be set in Golden Age Hollywood. And I might write that book one day, but it just didn't feel right for whatever reason.
Right.
And so when my son came to me and asked if the stories about my husband, his dad's grandparents were true, that they had helped to shelter Jewish Italians, fellow Italians during the war, I suddenly thought I have to look into this,
Right.
not just to find out if it's true, but just to learn more. In the end, I could never pin down, as a historian would, whether it was true or not. And I don't think I ever will. It's just been so long. But it led
Right.
me to the story of this incredible priest in San Zenone, where my husband's parents are from,
And
which
we
is a
have a photo of that priest there. And
Father
he
Soko.
helped, yes, he helped shelter a number of Jews in Italy.
Dozens and dozens. And he was named Righteous Among the Nations by Yad Vashem in 2010 for his valor and selflessness. And so I couldn't tell the story from the point of view of my husband's grandparents, but it made me wonder, what was the story of the people they sheltered? Not the literal story, in the sense of I didn't want to track down necessarily. I didn't think I could track down any of the people he helped, but to tell the story from the point of view of somebody who in 1943 has to go into hiding because the Nazi occupation of Italy has begun. And how did you survive? If you were Italian and you had really no way to leave the country, where did you go? And the
Right.
answer for many people was that they hid among fellow Italians. So
Right.
that's the story of my heroine. That's where it begins.
And she's a fictional heroine, but it could be an amalgam of so many different experiences, right? She's a Jewish girl from the city, from Venice, studying to become a doctor like her father, and she has to go live in a farmhouse. And I love how you base the farmhouse on your husband's family. We
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
photo of it there. She has to hide there and pretend that she is a farmer's wife.
yeah, yeah. And she's, a very sheltered girl, the only child beloved child of her parents, and she's lived in a city her whole life. And so this city girl has to go out to the countryside and fit in, which means all of the chores, all of the grinding hard work that comes from living on a farm. And for that, it was my husband's family, his aunts and uncles, who are still with us, who gave me just all the information I needed and more on what it was like to live through those times, how
Yeah.
desperately hard they were for so many people.
Great descriptions there of that. And I love, I know I mentioned that the book was dark, but it is
Yeah.
full of humanity as well and full of love. And it's love for your fellow man, love for family, and just love for the way that things used to be.
Yeah. And, I wrote the final parts of it and I edited it, did the final edits last year, when, we were in the kind of first months of this kind of new way of life that we've all had to embrace more or less, and how, with all its difficulties. And not only did that give me some perspective into a very small amount of perspective, I should add, into
Hmm.
what life was like for people then, it also made me want to write a book that was hopeful. This
Yes.
is not, I want to say to people who are used to my books, you know, looking kind of at the brighter side of things. There are moments that are tough, but I'm not going to ruin your day.
No, no,
I
it
don't want
doesn't.
anyone to think that they'll finish this book and feel depressed. That's
No,
not
it
my
is
intent
a
at all.
delightful read, and so happy that we got to talk to you this morning. So, Our Darkest Night by Jennifer Robson is out now. A pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.